Welcome, friends. In our last video, we talked about the subtle habits we absorb in toxic environments, narcissistic fleas. Today, we are talking about something much louder and much more violent: reactive abuse. Reactive abuse occurs when an individual is subjected to prolonged, systematic psychological abuse until their nervous system completely snaps and they explode in a wave of rage, screaming, crying, throwing things, or saying the most horrific things they can think of. And that's the exact moment they explode, the harmful personality will step back, point a finger at them, and says, "See, you're the crazy one. You're the abuser. Look at how you're acting." And then you start internalizing those accusations and start apologizing for things that you never even did and start believing them that you are the crazy one. So if you've ever been pushed to a point where you screamed so loud you didn't recognize your own voice or acted in a way that felt entirely out of body, only to have that behavior used as proof that you were the problem, you may have experienced reactive abuse. A manipulator will poke, prod, insult, and quietly break down your boundaries for hours, days, weeks, months, years, for as long as you let them. And the big thing I want us to consider is that this may be an unconscious thing that they do. This can look like multiple different things. Not everyone is trying to hurt you. It could be that they are self-sabotaging. It could be that that's just how they treat themselves. And we can also look at how childhood trauma comes into our adult relationships. And if you've ever been told that your feelings are not okay, that it's not okay for you to have a voice, you may be taking that on in your relationships as well. So there's a wide variety of what this can look like. So I'm just going to say that because I think that everybody here watching deserves empathy and deserves love. And the big ticket item that we're talking about is a harmful personality where they do this intentionally, and it's intentionally designed to cause a reaction out of you. Like they want you to react. That's the harmful personality that separates everybody watching and the true narcissistic people that are out there. That the true narcissistic people out there are doing this completely intentionally. And what happens over a period of time is you turn into a spring, and it's coiled. Like you just turn into a spring that just gets coiled and coiled and coiled, and until you just can't take it anymore, and it comes out as like this big explosion. So the moment you lose control, the focus is instantly erased from the long period of psychological abuse that they've inflicted on you. Suddenly, the entire spotlight is on your reaction. And this is the ultimate fuel for a harmful personality or a high control leader. It gives them the perfect evidence to play the victim, to justify punishing you, or to go to your friends, family, community and say, "Look at what I have to deal with behind closed doors. They are completely unstable." And after a prolonged period of psychological abuse, it's very common that we do become unstable. And psychological abuse causes brain damage, and it's a really horrible thing that we may have to deal with. So that's why it's so important to increase our awareness around these behaviors. Because if you're a deeply empathetic person, you're going to look at your own explosion and you might even believe them, and then you take on 100% of the guilt. So if this explains something that you may have experienced, I want to offer you a different perspective to help you release the shame of what you may have gone through. If you trap a dog in a corner, poke it with a stick for 3 days, and it finally bites you, no one blames the dog. It didn't attack out of malice, it reacted out of survival. Your explosion was not an act of abuse. It was a desperate, involuntary scream of the parts of yourself that couldn't take it anymore. The fact that you feel remorse about how you reacted proves that abuse is not who you truly are, that you're not an abusive person. It was a reaction to an unnatural amount of pressure. Forgiving yourself for your breaking point is one of the hardest parts of recovery, but it is essential. You are allowed to look at that explosion with deep compassion and say, I was pushed past what any human being is wired to endure. So now we have cleared the air on how survival changes our behavior. We are ready to dive into the course. I'm so excited. So first, we're going to go over the definitions of undue influence and coercive control. Thank you again for watching.